Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to everyone of you for being here for us. Team HNCC welcomes you all to the introduction to open source and Hacktoberfest with Git and GitHub. It's the time of the year again for open source contribution. Yes, I'm talking about Hacktoberfest. In this session, we will discuss Git, GitHub, open source, and Hacktoberfest. I am Harshita from the Civil Engineering branch, 2K20 from HNCC. Along with my friends Suraj and Nipun, we will start the session. So, from here, Nipun will take over the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Nipun Kumar from Information Technology branch of batch 2K20, and today we will discuss about open source. So let's quickly look what will be covered in today's session. Next. So firstly, we will see what is open source, benefits of open source software development, why open source, and then after we will see about Hacktoberfest and a hands-on session on Hacktoberfest and GitHub. Next. So what is open source? Open source software in which source code is released under a license in which the copyright holder grants users the right to use, study, change, and distribute the software to anyone and for any purpose. So what does it mean? बेसिकली ओपन सोर्स एक सॉफ्टवेयर होता है जिसका सोर्स कोड पब्लिकली अवेलेबल होता है एंड कोई भी उस कोड को यूज कर सकता है. The example of open source is Linux, Telegram, Game, a photo editor app, and LibreOffice. These are the open source software. Next. Okay, now what is closed source software? क्लोज सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर वैसे सॉफ्टवेयर होते हैं जिसका सोर्स कोड का राइट उसके ओनर के पास होता है. दैट मीन्स द ओनर कैन रीड, इंस्पेक्ट, स्टडी, चेंज और यूज इट. Any user cannot use the source code of a closed source software. If any user use the source code of closed source software, they, the owner of closed source software can copyright on the user. These are the example of closed source software and open source software. As we can see that there is an alternative of every closed source software in open source. Like for Windows, we have alternative of Linux. For Microsoft Office, we have alternative in open source is OpenOffice and LibreOffice. And for Photoshop, we have discussed in open source is GIMP. And for iOS, we have an open source alternative is Android. Next. Okay, so now what is freewares? यहाँ पे लोग बहुत कंफ्यूज होते हैं ओपन सोर्स एंड फ्रीवेयर्स में. लेकिन फ्रीवेयर्स वैसे सॉफ्टवेयर होते हैं जो यूज करने के लिए तो फ्री होते हैं, लेकिन उसके बिहाइंड का जो सोर्स कोड होता है वो प्राइवेट होता है. मतलब कि उसका एक्सेस पब्लिकली कहीं पे अवेलेबल नहीं होता है. और उनका एग्जांपल है व्हाट्सएप, एडोबी एक्रोबेट, जेड आर्काइवर, इंस्टाग्राम और बहुत सारे ऐप्स जो हम लोग डेली लाइफ में यूज़ करते हैं। तो आई होप आप लोगों को समझ में आया होगा कि ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर क्या होते हैं, क्लोज्ड सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर क्या होते हैं एंड फ्रीवेयर्स क्या होते हैं। अगर किसी को कुछ यहाँ तक में डाउट है तो प्लीज़ राइट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन। हैज डाउट सो लेट्स मूव ऑन। नाउ लेट्स हम लोग देखते हैं कि ओपन सोर्स यूज करने का बेनिफिट क्या है। तो द फर्स्ट बेनिफिट इज सोर्स कोड इज फ्री। इसका मतलब है कि हम लोग ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर के सोर्स कोड को हम लोग अपने प्रोजेक्ट में यूज कर सकते हैं, वो भी फ्री टू नो चार्ज। एंड हम लोग ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर को भी बिना कोई चार्जेस के यूज कर सकते हैं। द सेकेंड बेनिफिट इज ट्रेनिंग। जैसा कि हम लोगों को पता है कि ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर का जो कोड होता है वो ओपन होता है, तो हम लोग कोई भी एक बड़े प्रोजेक्ट जो कि ओपन सोर्स हो उसका सोर्स कोड को हम लोग स्टडी करके हम लोग बहुत कुछ लर्न कर सकते हैं और हम लोग अपने लर्निंग कर्व को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं। हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि बड़े डेवलपर्स कैसे अपने कोड को राइट करते हैं एंड कैसे वो लोग अपने प्रोजेक्ट को एक स्ट्रक्चर देते हैं। थर्ड बेनिफिट इज सिक्योरिटी। वी ऑल नो कि जो भी सॉफ्टवेयर्स होते हैं उसमें कुछ ना कुछ बग्स होते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ एरर्स होते हैं। लेकिन इन सॉफ्ट और ये सारे जो एरर्स है वो कहीं ना कहीं लीड करते हैं एक वल्नरेबिलिटी को, जो कि हैकर को एक रास्ता प्रोवाइड कर देते हैं हम लोगों के सिस्टम के एक्सेस के लिए। लेकिन ओपन सोर्स में ये जो एरर्स और बग्स होते हैं वो बहुत जल्दी एक्सपोर्ट हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि जो ओपन सोर्स का कोड होता है वो पूरे वर्ल्ड वाइड एक्सपोर्ट होते हैं, तो कोई ना कोई तुरंत उस एरर को एक्सपोर्ट कर लेता है। लेकिन क्लोज सोर्स में कहीं ना कहीं सिक्योरिटी थोड़ी सी लो हो जाती है, क्योंकि उनको अपने सिक्योरिटी के लिए अपने इंजीनियर्स हायर करने होते हैं। नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग इज कंटिन्यूड इम्प्रूवमेंट। लेटेस्ट हम लोग एक एग्जांपल से इसको समझते हैं। सपोज ए यूजर ए यूज अ टूल विच इज राइटिंग क्लोज सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर। मतलब एक यूजर है जो कि क्लोज सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर का यूज करके अपने अपने एप्लीकेशन में कुछ फीचर्स को इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहा है। अब यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि जब वो क्लोज सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर था, जब वो यूजर को अपना टूल सेल कर रहा था, उसके बाद उसने उस टूल पे काम करना बंद कर दिया और वो उसका जो टूल था वो प्रॉपर वर्क कर रहा था। लेकिन जैसे जैसे सिस्टम अपग्रेड होते हैं, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ टूल्स होते हैं वो न्यू अपडेटेड सिस्टम के साथ कंपैटिबल नहीं होते हैं। उस सिचुएशन में यूजर को क्या होगा, जो नए सिस्टम में जो उसका टूल्स वर्क नहीं करेगा तो वहाँ पे यूजर कुछ नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि वो क्लोज सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर से लिया था और वो जो कंपनी है उसने उस टूल्स पे काम करना छोड़ दिया है। तो अब यूजर के पास एक ही चांस रहा कि वो या तो जो फीचर है वो पूरा खुद से लिखे, या तो फिर वो फीचर को उसको डंप करना होगा, क्योंकि वो नए सिस्टम में कॉम्पैटिबल नहीं है। लेकिन ओपन सोर्स में जो हमारे वो टूल है वो ओपन सोर्स होते हैं, तो कोई भी आदमी उस पर जा करके, कोई भी एक डेवलपर उस पर जा करके उसको इम्प्रूव कर सकता है, उसको कॉम्पैटिबल बना सकता है नए अपग्रेडेड सिस्टम के लिए। तो यहाँ पे इम्प्रूवमेंट होता है कोई भी एक टूल का, वो कंटिन्यू होते रहता है, तो हम लोगों को एक स्टेबिलिटी मिलता है ओपन सोर्स यूज करने का एज कम्पेयर टू क्लोज सोर्स। एंड द नेक्स्ट बेनिफिट इज कम्युनिटी। एज जितने भी ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर है वो ओपन टू एवरीवन होते हैं, तो उसका कम्युनिटी भी पूरा ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड है। एंड हम लोग को सारे जो डाउट्स ओपन सोर्स के हैं उसका सॉल्यूशन कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों को गूगल पे मिल रहा होता है। Next, please. Okay, so now why open source? तो ओपन सोर्स यूज करने का सबसे बड़ा जो बेनिफिट है कि एनीबडी, वो पृथ्वी के किसी भी कोने में हो, बस उसके पास इंटरनेट का एक्सेस होना चाहिए और वो ओपन सोर्स में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है। ये सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट है ओपन सोर्स यूज करने का। इन 2004 डेविड हैंसन एक डेवलपर है जिसने एक प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज को लिखा जो कि रूबी ऑन रेल्स है, और वो प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज ओपन सोर्स था और उसमें कंटिन्यूअस इम्प्रूवमेंट होते होते वो प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज डेवलप हो गया बहुत अच्छे लेवल पे, एंड उसका यूज करके दो ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट बने, एक ट्विटर एंड दूसरा गिटहब। एंड वी ऑल नो अबाउट ट्विटर एंड गिटहब, ये कितने ज़्यादा इवॉल्व हो गए एज कम्पेयर टू 2004। सो या ओपन सोर्स यहाँ भी अपना वर्थ दिखा रहा है। नेक्स्ट, ओके, गूगल ने 2015 में एक आर्टिफिशियल इंजन टेंसरफ्लो को लॉन्च किया और उसका कुछ पार्ट को ओपन सोर्स कर दिया। तो टेंसरफ्लो इज नॉट फुल्ली ओपन सोर्स, but some part of TensorFlow is now open source. So Google also recognized the power of open source. And in 2018, Microsoft bought GitHub. So Microsoft, the most tech proprietary company, also recognized the power of open source. Next, most of the people have Android smartphone, and we all know the Android is based on the Linux, and Linux is an open source operating system. So yeah, open source is available everywhere, and the and most and 99% of supercomputers are also powered by Linux. So every it's like 100% supercomputers are used Linux. So open source is available in supercomputers also. So these are the facts which showed us the power of open source. Now, our club also supports the open source. Our majority of the code is open source. हमारे जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं वो अपने कोड को रेगुलरली गिटहब पे पुश करते हैं एंड उस रेपोजिटरी को पब्लिक करके रखते हैं। तो वहाँ पे आप लोग उनके कोड को रीड करके वहाँ से लर्न कर सकते हैं। एंड हमारे 70% प्लस यूजर है वो लिनक्स यूज करते हैं जो कि एक ओपन सोर्स है। 40% प्लस जो हमारे यूजर्स हैं वो ओपन सोर्स में कंट्रीब्यूट कर चुके हैं। एंड हमारे दो 2K18 सीनियर्स आल्सो कंट्रीब्यूटेड इन GSOC 2K21, अंजनी सर एंड सूरज सर। These are the contributors of KDE. So yeah, open source is everyone, and the event Hacktoberfest we celebrate for inspiring people to contribute. And now I would like to invite Harshita to take over. Is for Git and GitHub. So now I would like to invite Suraj for the Git session.
So, hello everyone. Yes, yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to the to one of the most important steps in kickstarting your journey to open source and also participating actively in Hacktoberfest. I am Suraj Kumar Barnwal from Computer Science and Engineering branch of batch 2K20, and I am here to talk about and also share a live demonstration on Git and GitHub. So let's get started. So, what Git really is? Let's discuss this first. So, Git is basically a free open source version control system used to handle small and very large projects efficiently. Now, when you read this statement, you are kind of confused because maybe you don't understand these two words, that is, open source and version control system. Open source has been explained to you by one of my friend Nipun, whereas version control would be explained by me. So let's get started. What is a version control system? So basically, let's understand this by a scenario. Let's say you are working under a project and you have made some progress in your project. In the between, your friend comes and tells you that I also want to work with you in the same project because I have some of my own ideas that I want to implement. So you allow your friend to work in this project, and your friend starts working and starts writing his own code. After some progress, your friend also wants to merge your code into your his code or into your current progress. But that's what you don't want, because you want to work independently on your own project, right? So that is what Git offers us. It offers us branching capabilities. First of all, your friend would be able to work on a particular branch on or on his own branch independently without any disturbance, right? Without anyone interfering in his own branch or in his own work. Also, you will be able to work on your own branch without anyone interfering it. And during this process, let's say another friend comes and she tells you that I also want to work in your project and let's collaborate to make your project more robust, maybe. Then she also starts making her own branch and working on her own version or own branch of the project. All these three branches that you can see on the screen right now, that is the purple, the blue, and the green one, are basically the three branches of the same project containing three versions. You can call it like these are the three versions of the same project. But these three versions are controlled by a version control system. That's why it's called version control system, right? Because these three branches, which can be summed up into three versions, are controlled in through Git. That's why it's called version control system. Moving forward, uh, these are some of the main components of Git. Now, this slide will be of real use when I will show you the real demonstration or the live demonstration of Git and GitHub. So just stay tuned for that. Now let's discuss the applications of Git. What are the applications of Git? As I explained you in this slide, that that how a version control system works. It's basically done in a project, right? So that's one of the main applications of Git. Git helps you collaborate effectively and efficiently in large or small scale projects. You can work on your own branch independently without anyone interfering in your work, and there can be multiple branches where everyone responsible for their own branch will be working on their respective branches, right? So that's what Git offers you. It offers you scalable branches and to work independently on the projects. So this is the first and one of the most important applications that is used in the industry currently. Okay. So the next is also it is used in product management industries and in the Linux kernel as well. Now talking about the advantages of Git. The advantages of Git are its branching capabilities. Now, what are branching capabilities? Let's understand this with the help of this version control slide. Right. Here you can see three branches. Right. Each branch is independent of each other until the owner of a particular branch or your friend wants to invoke his code into your code. He needs a permission. Right. because without that, without the permission, he won't be able to invoke his code into your code or make certain obvious changes. So that is what branch capability basically means. It means that each person can work on their separate branch independently. Or you can say that if you are working on a branch, let's say if your friend is working on the violet branch, no one else can interfere his work until and unless he allows it or finds obvious, which we will discuss right now. Why will he allow it? Okay. So the second advantage that Git offers us is pull requests. Now, what are pull requests? Let's imagine a scenario. Let's say you have written a code of 10 lines, and your friend has written the same code within 3 lines. So your friend's code is better, right? So your friend will create a pull request or a request to suggest some of the changes that are to be merged into your branch so that your project can be more optimized and robust. This is what a pull request does. It creates a request to the owner of the actual branch or the main branch, which is a request to pull some of the changes that is done in the source code to improve it. So that is what pull request basically does. This is an advantage of Git because it makes it easier for the project leads to keep track of the changes. Okay. So also Git offers us a distributed development. Now let's understand distributed development with the help of the version control slide. What you can see here is that there are multiple branches of the same project. This means that multiple branches have multiple developments being developed by multiple developers. Your friend is a developer, another friend is a developer, and yourself is a developer. So there are 3 developers distributed in 3 branches, hence forming a distributed development. So Git favors distributed development without any clashes between each of these developers or development environment. Here it is branches. So that is what distributed development is. Each developer gets their own local repository to work on their branch. Okay, now let's see what are the disadvantages. Now, like anything else in the world, Git also has some disadvantages. Although it is being very vastly used in the industry right now, it also has some disadvantages. For first one being tedious command lines. Like if you're a beginner in Git, you will find some of the command lines as we will discuss here. You will see in the demonstration. Some of the command lines are really tedious to understand as well and to also remember them. What are the key concepts of the Git workflow or what are the command lines? You will find somewhat difficult to understand it initially, but once you will get used to it, uh, you will be really enjoying the process. Trust me. The next disadvantage that Git has it is that it supports poor GUI, meaning that Git does not have a, a simple GUI system to make you understand the current work tree or the workflow in which you are moving or developing your project. Let's say I have uh, some branches that is, let's say, again, this slide that is your version control system slide. Okay. In this version control system slide, there you can see clearly the work tree, right? That is, there are 3 branches created of the same project, and one is working on some other branch, another one is working some other branch. You can see here, but Git does not offer that. You have to visualize it while working with Git. You have to visualize it. That's what poor GUI support basically means. When you will write commands, you have to visualize what you are basically doing, what is the current workflow, and the third disadvantage being that it does not deal properly with binary files. Okay, so these are the disadvantages, advantages, and some of the important concepts about Git. Let's move forward and see how to use Git. Okay, so now we will learn how to use Git, and I will show you a practical demonstration of how to perform Git operations on your terminal. Currently, I'll be using Linux, but before using Git, you need to install it, right? So installing it requires you visiting this site, that is gitscm.com. And for Windows, I think link will be shared in the comments or in the chats. And for Linux, it can be installed during the installation of Linux itself, or it comes kind of pre-installed when you set up Linux. Or if you don't have installed Git in your system, in a Linux system, then you can simply type sudo apt get install git after Linux installation, and it will be installed in the Linux system, right? So let's move on to the next step right now. What's the next step? Let's code it. Let's jump to the coding part and let's see how to operate Git and use Git as a major tool to contribute actively in Hacktoberfest. So I'd like to, mm, okay, just wait for a moment. Okay. So now I think my screen is visible, right? So let's start with something that is useful, and let's start for so before starting anything, I'd like to ask you if you have any questions, just comment it. Just comment, and I'll like to respond. I'll be happy to respond to every comment that you have. Okay. So I'm waiting for the comments for let's say 10 seconds. So ask Linus. Okay. Yes. So I think I'm waiting for the comments. If you have any question, you can just ping me there or comment down below. I'll be looking to it. Just comment, guys, if you have any question. Okay, so I think maybe you don't have any questions till now, but now I'll be showing you the practical demonstration of Git and how to use GitHub to contribute in Hacktoberfest. Okay, so the first step that you need to perform in order to contribute to any project in Hacktoberfest is that, let's say if I want to contribute to this project, to this Hacktoberfest 2022 from HNCC Bits. By the way, this is the repository, the official repository of our club, and you can view this. Um, Also, it contains, it has the site. Our website is completely open source, as discussed by Nipun. So let's move forward. The first step that you have to perform in any contribution in Hacktoberfest or in any contribution to open source is that if you want to contribute, let's say, to Hacktoberfest 22, you need to first fork this repository. So let's fork it first. And I'll explain what fork means. You'll understand it. Let's fork this, and let's create the fork. Okay. Let's create the fork. Okay. So now you can see that the fork has been created. And what does basically fork mean? Fork means that forking a repository basically means that you are trying to, or you are bringing a particular repository to which you have to contribute to your own account. So here I have to contribute to HNCC Bits Hacktober Fest 22. So I have to first fork it to my own account of GitHub, and then I have to start the further process. Okay. So the next steps I think will be discussed if I can clear some of your doubts. If you have, you can just comment. So if you have any doubts, you can just keep commenting, and it will be resolved alongside. Just feel free to respond, guys. Okay, so I think there are no doubts currently. So let's move on to the next step. The next step that you need to do is clone this repository. Now, what does clone mean? Let's move on to our actual slide. Okay. So, what does clone basically mean? Cloning means that I am copying this link of this repository, and I'm I'm basically bringing this repository to my local system by writing the command git clone and pasting it here. Okay. So that's how it goes. I'm writing the command git clone and pasting it here. So let's clone this repository. So the repository has been cloned and let's view it first. Okay, let's view it. So Hacktoberfest 22 has been cloned to my local system. Let's move into it and let's see its contents. You can see that license, readme and suraj.txt are present as shown in the remote repository here. Okay, let's view the contents of suraj.txt and let's verify if it's the same. Right. So hello everyone, it's written here. And let's view the contents of suraj.txt in my local system and let's see. Yeah, so it's present. Right. So this means that the repository has been successfully cloned and now I need to make some changes. So what I will be the operation that I'll be performing. Let me give an overview of what I'll be doing here right now. Okay. So first of all, I have cloned the repository. I have forked the repository to which I want to contribute. The next step, I have cloned the repository to my own local system, and then I will also perform some of the changes to the suraj.txt file, and then those changes will be pushed from my local system to the remote repository from where I cloned it. Okay, and from their local from their remote repository, I'll create a pull request which will be accepted by HNCC bits organization, and hence the purpose of the contribution is completed. So let's do the described process here. Okay, so first of all, let's make the changes. Let's edit this text file, and for the sake of editing this, I'm using Vim text editor. Let's just insert my name, Suraj Kumar Barnwal. Let's save and quit it. Let's view if the changes has been done. Okay. So to view the changes that has been done, before that I have to write this command git status. Okay. What git status does is that there are 4 stages as described in the slide, right? There was workspace, there was staging area, there was local area, and there was the remote area. Right. There was a remote area. And now I am currently present in the workspace because I have not staged anything in my stage area, and also I have not done any commit to my changes. So this is this. Let's view it. Let's say what Git has to say on our current changes that we have performed. What Git says here? It says that it is on branch main. Your branch is up to date with origin main. What does this origin main mean? It means that origin is the name of the remote that we are currently working with or from where we cloned it. And main is the name of the branch in which we are working. As I told you, there are multiple branches in Git. There are multiple branches that are divided for a particular project. So now to staged, it says changes not staged for commit. It means that this suraj.txt is not now currently in the staging area, but I have to bring it to the staging area before performing any operation. The command to do that is git add space dot for bringing suraj.txt into the staging area or everything. Dot means everything. So now everything has been brought. Let's check the status again. So now it says git branch on branch main. Your branch is up to date with origin main. Changes to be committed. This means that that suraj.txt now has been brought to the stage area. Okay, because now only they are ready to be committed. Okay, so now I will commit these changes. So let's commit it here. For doing anything, let me just, okay, so let's commit it. Okay, so command is to commit. The command is git commit -m. I have changed my name, right? So I have to write here added my name. When you commit something, whenever you make some changes, you commit something. Commit basically means is a way to describe what changes you have made or to provide as much obvious details to the changes that you have made. Because when you will be contributing, your contributions will be checked in the pull request. Okay. And when your contributions will be checked in the pull request, it will also be verified that the changes that you made are actually obvious or not, or it's simply nonsense. If it's nonsense, it will be simply revoked. Your pull request will not be merged. And those we will also work, and those we will also see here, right? So let's perform this statement. Let's execute this git command, and I think I will get an error here. Okay, and I will also resolve it by making. Okay, so I've got an error. What error says? Let's first know this. Author identity unknown. Please tell me who you are. So in order to commit, when you commit anything that you have, Git needs to know what is your configured global user email and configured user name. Then only Git will be able to commit your changes. Two, so because those committed changes will be reflected in your remote repository where you will push those, right? So Git needs to know where you will where those changes are needed to be reflected. So for that, you have to use another set of commands. Git config --global user dot email. As you can see here, Suraj Barnwal 24. My email is surajbarnwal24@gmail.com. And so I'm configuring Git globally with my user email, surajbarnwal24@gmail.com. Okay. Now I also have to configure Git with my username, user dot name. It's X. So now the Git has configured my global username and my global user email. Now I will be able to commit the changes that I have made. Just remember this message, guys, that I have added here as a commit message. Added my name, because this will be reflected here in the repository. You will be able to view it. Okay. So now let's commit it. Okay. Now let's commit it. Yeah. Now you can see the changes have been committed. What it says, what Git basically prompts me. Let's read this. One file changed, one insertion, and plus. This means that I have inserted something. Of course, I have inserted something, right? I have added my name. How to view it? You can view it by using this command, git diff. What are the changes you have made? Okay. So now what I can do here is I have committed some changes. Now I have to push it, right? Let's push git push origin main. This command is really useful to understand in the first place because git push is used to push your code or the changes that you have made into the remote repository where you have connected it, right? So first you have to view the remote repository. In order to do this, let's view it. Yeah, you can see that there are two types of origin or the remote repository present here. One is fetch and one is push. Fetch means from where you have cloned the repository, and push means where you are going to push your changes. Okay, when I wrote the command git clone along with the link of the repository, Git initialized these two variables automatically in with these links. From where I cloned, obviously it is from where to where I will push. So I have to push this there. I have to push this to the origin or this origin. Git push to this origin or to this link into what? Into the current branch that I'm working on. Okay. So let's view the current branch that I'm working on. I'm working on branch main. So I have to push my code into the branch main. So this is how it goes. Git push origin and push into the branch main. Let's do this. It will ask me for the username. And also for the purpose of security, GitHub has also launched a new feature called personal access token. It's been a long time. So instead of password, you have to insert or you have to fill here a personal access token, and I'll be pasting this personal access token. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So this personal access token, I have it, and you can also generate it, right? You can see here on GitHub that I have a personal access token which expires on Sunday, January 23. Okay. So this expires on Sunday, January 23, and this personal access token is valid only for a certain amount of time, right? And it has been pasted here. You cannot view it for security reasons. So just press enter, right? Yeah. Now you can see that the changes has been pushed. You can see enumerating of 5 objects done, counting objects 100% done, compressing objects and then writing them into this remote repository from main to main. That is from the main branch of the local repository to the main branch of the remote repository. Right. If I refresh this, I can see the comment. I can see the commit. Okay. Yeah. You can see this commit right now here. Okay. I think you can view this commit. Let me just zoom it. Yeah. You can view this commit. I added my name. I added my name right there. Okay. So Git also reflects these commits in GitHub through Git. Right. So that's what the changes are done. That's how the changes are done. And you can also view this suraj.txt file and you can verify the changes have been actually done. Right. But that's not the whole picture. I have cloned the repository from the remote repository, from the original repository, and then I have performed certain changes, pushed into the remote repository, and now I have to create a pull request or a request to the original organization to merge the changes that I have suggested. Right. So now I have to create a pull request. You can go here into the contribute section here and just open a pull request. That's it. Open a pull request, and in since we are working on with a particular organization, then I have to be more specific. Added my name, and if you want, you can describe it here, right? That's it. Now you have to create a pull request by describing what is the name of the pull request and the changes that you have done. Okay, let's do this. Okay, now this branch has no conflicts with the base branch, and now it is ready to be merged, right? So now we have to wait for Hacktoberfest 2022 organization or HLCC bids to get the pull request accepted. Till then, if you have any questions, any doubts related to this till now what I have discussed, you can openly ask in the comments below, and I'll be openly handling it. Okay. So I think just we have to wait few minutes until the pull request is accepted or approved, and after which our code will be merged, right? So till then, if you have any questions that you would like to ask in the comments, then you can just ping me there. Okay, so what does conflict mean? There is a question by Mohit Pandey. What does conflict mean? Conflict basically means that, let's say I am merging something. Let's say there is a branch, the main branch, that is being merged, or the pull. I have created certain pull request, right? I have created a pull request. After that, I have certain changes that I am proposing to be merged. If those changes are not in sync with the actual branch that is being that is about to get merged with, then a conflict arises, and you can resolve those conflicts. There is a way, but not discussing any further. Those concepts are beyond the scope of this Hacktoberfest session, and also you will not need it much if you don't mess up with your Git commands. So all you have to do is just follow the tutorial 2 to 3 times, and then you will be uh, much more handy with it, and you will be have a less chance to make mistakes. Okay. Any other questions? I think that makes clear, right, Mohit? You can comment, because conflicts concept is not as useful as understanding the present concept that you're understanding. If you have any doubts in the present scenario that I have shown you, you can ask me there. Does that clarify your answer, Mohit? You can just comment there. Okay. Until then, I think we should wait for the PR to be accepted, or the pull request that we just created. Okay. Mm, okay. So you can see that one pull request has been closed. There are no pull requests showing here, but I created one, right? So one has been closed. Let's check what it is. Added my name, right? Also, it is showing that it is merged. It is merged into this Hacktoberfest 2022 repository. Okay. Let's see what if the changes are actually done. Right. Let's see. Suraj.txt. You can see that my name has been added here. Right. You can see here that my name has been added. So I created a pull request, and that pull request has been merged by Nipun, who is one of the colleague in the organization, right? So the pull request has been closed after being merged. So that's how you create pull requests. That's how you work on Git. That's how you resolve various types of problems with Git. And just remember one thing, that working with your own branch is really safe. So don't try messing up your git commands. Just be aware of what you are doing currently. Then you will be then you will really enjoy using Git. Okay. So I think that's all for now. I think another slide needs to be in focus. Just give me a minute, guys. If you have any questions till now, you can just comment now as well. Okay. Can we create a pull request from command line? Actually, you can create a pull request from GitHub. Okay. You can create a pull request from a particular site that supports open source collaboration. From that site, you can create a pull request. It's not possible to create a pull request from command line because you're using Git, right? So I think that answers the question, right? You can comment it there itself. Okay. So any other questions will be welcome here itself. Until then, if you have any questions, you can just again ping there, and we will be appreciating it. So now we have come basically to the end of this session, and the link to the GitHub repository that I'm working on currently, that is this link. This link, this link will be provided in the comments section, and you can view it from there. Also, you can view my GitHub account, which will be present here as well. That is at the last. You can see it here. Okay, and so that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this session and bearing with me. I really enjoyed this sharing this knowledge and this session of Git with you all, and I hope you also got a great learning experience. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
So now it's time. Thank you, Suraj. So now it's time um, to know some facts about Hacktoberfest. So you all got to know what GitHub, and open source are. Now let's talk about what Hacktoberfest is. It's an annual celebration encouraging open source contribution during October. It's been sponsored by DigitalOcean in collaboration with DeepSource, Docker, and Applied this year. So the first question in everyone's mind is who can contribute, right? So it's open for anyone. Um, Anyone can participate in this. Yes, it's right. Anyone with basic knowledge and have enthusiasm to contribute in open source can participate. You can participate anytime between 1st to 31st of October. You need a GitHub account, and there must be 4 well-written pull requests that must be merged in your GitHub or GitLab repository. So now the question is why we contribute to this? What we will get, right? So the gain is the first 40 participants to finish Hacktoberfest can choose between a receiving a tree planted in their honor or a T-shirt for Hacktoberfest 2022. Some of our club members also received Hacktoberfest swags in the past few years. Last year, 4 of our members received the swags from Hacktoberfest. One of them was me. So now let's see. Um, Now you can see there are few Hacktoberfest that we received. Now let's see how we can register to our Hacktoberfest. For that, give me a minute. So you can see this is the official website for Hacktoberfest 2022. So here we can register ourselves for the Hacktoberfest. So first of all, we have to initiate our GitHub or GitLab account. As per your choice, you can initiate or you can you can connect your GitHub or a GitLab account to Hacktoberfest, so that the Hacktoberfest can count the your PRs, and after 14 days of the PR get merged to the repo, it will give you, after completing 4 PRs, such 4 successful PRs, you will receive your swag. So here I am initiating my GitHub account. So that's all done. Now you have to do is make a open your GitHub account, search for such a repo in which you can see Hacktoberfest badge like this one. Give me a second. Like you, like you can see, this is a repo of HNCC where you can see there is a batch of Hacktoberfest. So there must be a batch of Hacktoberfest in the repo so that you can contribute and it will be counted in the Hacktoberfest for receiving such swags. And then, as Suraj told you, how to create a PR so that, and after that, the owner of the repo will give merge that PR so that after that, the 14 days, you will get your PR getting successful, and after that, you can receive your swags if it been completed successfully. So now it's time for some doubts. So anyone who have doubts, please comment your doubts in the chat section. Please feel free to ask any doubts. So looks like there is no doubt. So thank you for being with us. So if you have any further doubts in future, you can contact any of our HNCC members, um, or you can contact me or any of our speakers by scanning this QR, and you will get our LinkedIn profile. Okay, so that's all for today. Hope you all enjoyed this session. Happy learning, and hope that you all will get the Hacktoberfest swags. Thank you, everyone.